now to government's revenue measures. There's a warning from trade unions, including the Ghana Chamber of Commerce. They are warning that businesses may be forced to flee the country owing to what they describe as an unbearable tax environment. It follows, of course, the passage of 3 key revenue measures in Parliament last week. Government explains that the move is targeted at raising much more revenue in the face of an austerity plan with the International Monetary Fund. However, businesses are not entirely happy about the move. First, let's hear from the Ghana Chamber of Commerce.
Businesses are not making profit. Businesses are already suffering. And we can't tax ourselves out of what we are going through. What we need to do is to ensure that we empower and strengthen the private sector so they can grow, hire people, make a lot of revenue, and then we can tax. We are killing them right at birth, and it's not going to be in the interest of the country. Now, look, we have been talking about changing the structure of the economy. We have been talking about reducing imports. We will not achieve this. I wonder whether we are serious. How can you industrialize with all these taxes? How? How do you expect businesses to expand with all these taxes? We're going to continue to import. And it's about high time that we stop playing politics about the things affecting businesses. It's about high time we know the impact of these taxes on businesses and stop taxing them out of businesses. It won't work. Businesses are going to collapse. Already, they are not competitive. Already, the cost of doing business is high, comparing it to what is happening in other countries. And you come in with taxes every day. How do you expect businesses to survive and expand and employ people? I'm telling you that in the end, maybe in the next year, next 2 years, the effect all of us will see how these taxes are going to impact on business, how they'll be able to make the profit, the revenue that they are talking about.
Let's hear from Professor John Gachi, who's the Dean of the University of Cape Coast Business School, joining us via Zoom now. Thanks, Prof, for your time here on The Pulse. Government says it is keen on raising revenue before it seeks for that IMF board approval. In your view, will this collapse or enhance the business environment?
Well, I think it will disrupt the business environment further. This is an enhancement of the burden on businesses. I believe the principle that we need to deploy in our fiscal measures is to ensure that we raise revenue and create a convenient environment for businesses to operate. Now, if you look at the macro environment for businesses is so difficult to operate in. Interest rate is around 40%. Inflation is around 52.8%. The exchange rate environment is not the best. When we put all these things together, and we are heaping fiscal measures in the form of taxes on businesses, I do not think that is the best approach to taxation. Taxes must be used to incentivize production. They must be used to incentivize efficiency of operation. But as it is now, we are only looking at one side. We want to meet an IMF conditionality. And whether or not businesses collapse, whether businesses are suffering, it's as if we don't care. But I believe that the businesses have reached a point that the taxes have become burdensome to them. And there is an effect that we may also expect. When the number of taxes and the rate of taxes have become so many, you are preparing businesses to find a way to dodge the taxes. So that is one of the things we are going to see. Take, for example, the growth and the growth and the other name for the tax that have been passed recently is on profitability. So if the businesses declare profit, then you will tax. If they don't create a situation where before tax is positive, you can tax them. So there are many ways that businesses can react to these things, and that will create another problem for the tax authorities to deal with. So I don't think that what we are doing is right. We are just looking at the one side.
Well, Prof, let's get this unit concern coming through from the Ghana Union of Traders. They've also been raising their concerns about this situation. I'll get your reactions afterwards.
Guta, we did a fact finding. We went to the port. Gapoa, that used to clear about 150 containers a day. Now they can clear barely about 6 containers a day. We had a meeting with them just last Friday. Yes, and they were asking us that they have seen a decline in importation or clearing of cargoes from the port, and then we should come out and have a roundtable discussion and find a solution to it. And we told them they know what is going on because our members have stopped importing as a result of the duty rate that cumulatively you pay about almost 52% cumulative. So if you import about $10,000 worth of a product, we are paying over $5,000 as a duty. And what business or which kind of business can you go into and even maximize profit or even break even? Coupled with what my brother just said about the policy rate that has been increased from 29.5%. So now we are going to the commercial bank to borrow. The lending rate is going to be about 35 to 40%. Which business can go into that direction? And that when it happens that way, compliance level becomes extremely low. That's what we're seeing. So if people are defaulted from paying their loans, it's as a result of somebody. If your component of your interest rate goes up as high as 35 to 40%, no business can survive under this dispensation. So,
well, Prof, a confirmation there that even trading at the ports is beginning to decline. That may affect us indirectly.
Yes, so that's why I'm saying that these tasks may be counterproductive at the end of the day, because raising taxes itself has the effect of reducing or making the cost of import expensive and thereby reducing import. So if your aim is to raise revenue and you are raising the tax level high and multiplying the taxes, you will get to a point that the goods will not be coming, as we have been told already. And that means that your expectation of the revenues will not come. So it's as if these taxes are applied with the aim of reducing import. That is the effect we are seeing at the port. But at the same time, we are not engaging in productivity. The things that we used to import, we are still importing them in the same scale. Therefore, we can't say that we are doing something about production. The taxes are not incentivizing production. The taxes are not incentivizing consumption. They are rather putting burden. So consumption will be reducing, import will be reducing, and Ghana will be the loser.
The government has explained, and in fact, I recall speaking to the information minister last week, who told us that all of this and what we're seeing now is crucial to our board approval of the IMF bailout plan, and that all of these has to be in place before we go ahead with that austerity measure. How else could government deal with this situation, knowing that, of course, we need to raise revenue and to meet the standards that the IMF is looking for?
Well, I believe that is a wrong question we have been asking for some time now. When you ask that question, you create a situation where businesses and those who talk about taxation are blackmailed by the economic situation. It is the duty of government to think around, think outside the box, and find appropriate solution to the problem it is facing. It is not just because we are going to IMF, therefore we should burden the environment. I think we can see that there is fatigue for payment of taxes across the country. So when you are piling these things, you are just creating a mess of the situation. So I do not agree that this is a mutually exclusive situation, whereby if you don't add on these taxes, then you cannot get IMF program. And for that matter, everybody is, brought in line to support government to, pass this law and then to collect these taxes. I don't think that is proper. That even if the tax is going to raise 10 billion, the principle is that taxes should incentivize production. Taxes should raise revenue, at the same time incentivize production. What we are seeing now is raising taxes to meet IMF conditions. It's not raising taxes to build the productive environment. And that is problematic. Again, another aspect of taxation is that you need to use the taxes to incentivize the environment and for production. We are not using the taxes to incentivize production. And then again, you need to look at the taxpayer, especially the businesses as citizens. So you will nurture them. How do you nurture them? You use the tax system to nurture them, to provide a level playing field for the businesses. We are not seeing any nurturing of the businesses that we have. If we don't nurture your businesses, they will not stay long to continue to contribute to tax revenue of the country. So those are the things that should go in the mind of the people who form the tax policies for the country. I don't know. There are some people who always say, if you say debt exchange program, they say allow government to do it because IMF. If you say VAT, just January we passed a VAT amendment law, increase VAT by 2.5. We remove the benchmark value from the port with all the distortion we are seeing. Every day they say, oh, give government a chance. You come to the tree revenue, you hear them. They say, give government a chance. If not so, the economy will collapse. That is just a blackmail. People must think outside the box and manage the economy.
But of course, as part of the effect, we know that, for instance, the sin tax, the tax on some of these products that we're seeing out of the amendments that are being done, some of them is to achieve that effect and to discourage the consumption of some items that will inure to the health benefits of the citizenry. Some groups petitioning Parliament on that and urging Parliament to go ahead with this revenue measure. So it appears that all that's been done now may not solely be targeting the IMF, but also the aspect of sin tax. How do we bring that up?
That is not true. If you are targeting sin tax, for example, taxes on cigarettes and coal, you will need to come to Parliament and provide data to show how many people are affected by smoking, how much a bill the economy is suffering in trying to cater for these people, how many people have developed sensitive diseases. Have you heard anybody adduce those facts in support of the tax? No, it is just because of IMF. It's not because we want to keep Ghanaians healthy.
So you don't believe in it?
I don't believe that. That is not the purpose. I know how you discourage people using taxes against smoking and then other activities that you don't think is wholesome, but people decide to participate in those things. But that is not the approach.
Right.
And if I am going to convince anybody to tax cigarettes upwards, then I will be providing how much I am paying to cater for people who have been smoking all along. But that is not what we are doing.
Okay, we have two parties here to satisfy. There's the government side and the business community. Going forward, what's your expectation from these parties?
You say which parties?
The two parties involved, the government and the business community. Going forward, how do we find that fair balance, and what's your expectation from both sides?
Well, they will continue to talk, and along the line, whatever be the result, we continue with life. That is how it is in Ghana. But I think we also need to be mindful that government is becoming, government policies, especially fiscal policy, become inimical to business operations. And we need to recognize that and reverse the trend.
I'm grateful, Professor John Gachi, joining us here on The Pulse.
Thanks.
We're taking a short break here. When we return, we'll take you to the Volta region. The Electricity Company of Ghana is set to cut power supply to a water treatment plant in the community that can, of course, create some problems. We'll tell you about that mass disconnection exercise in the region after this break. Please stay.